What's going on, guys? My name is Justin from Push and Profit, and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite YouTubers, Stephan. Now, he is absolutely killing it on YouTube when it comes to finance, and I would even say that he's probably one of the largest channels on YouTube that discusses personal finance. Now, I started off this video by immediately mentioning that he's one of my favorite YouTubers because although I am going to be critiquing some of the advice that he gives on his channel, I just want to make it clear that I am no way throwing shade at him or that I despise him, because his channel is very informative and also entertaining, and I think he's a good guy. Now, when it comes to Stephan talking about real estate or even things like banking, I think he's very well informed. Now, the problem for me is when he gives advice about investing in the stock market, right? Now, for those of you guys that are new to my channel, I am a day trader. So with that being said, a majority of the content on my channel is relevant to day trading and investing in the stock market. Now, getting straight to the issue, something I don't like about Graham is the fact that on multiple videos when he talks about stocks, he mentions how the most profitable or rather successful way to trade in the stock market is to buy and hold over time.
My strategy has really just been to buy and hold. Buy into the markets as soon as you can, hold for as long as you can, and that is going to prove to be the most profitable.
And in many videos he mentions that timing the market is impossible and that you're better off just buying and holding. Now, I do agree that nobody can absolutely time the market, but the problem that I have with him and the advice that he gives about buying and holding simply it's just not great advice. Now, when it comes to investing, right, for example, the overall market has been selling off, coming to a correction, which means that the market has dropped more than 10%. Now, according to Graham, it's perfectly okay to buy stocks when they're falling because, eventually they'll simply come up. Now, something I want to put out there is that when you buy a stock, there's no guarantee that it will come back up and make newer highs. Now, I make a ton of videos on technical analysis in the stock market. I talk about mitigating your risk, and I also make tutorials on how to use certain indicators. However, without getting too technical with things, I'm going to do my best to explain something. So yes, I do agree that you obviously can't time the market, and yes, you obviously want to buy stocks when they're lower and sell them higher for a profit. However, you don't want to buy in randomly just because the stock market is selling off and hope that eventually it'll come back up. You want to wait for a confirmation of a reversal. Now, again, I don't want to get too technical with things, so I have my trusty dry erase board here, and I pretty much drew a chart that resembles how the S&P 500 has been looking for the past few weeks. Now, over here you can see that the stock on this chart is selling off. Now, again, according to Stephan, buying here is perfectly fine because the market will eventually come back up. Now, the problem with that mentality of just buying stocks when they're, quote unquote on sale and just buying in when they're selling off is that you pretty much are buying randomly without knowing if the stock is going to keep dropping. Now, yes, typically the stock market comes back over time, but it could take years for that to happen. And statistically, while uptrending bull markets could last for 10 years, bear markets do occur. And when they do occur, they could last for an upwards of 3 years. So realistically, it doesn't make sense buying in while a stock is selling off, waiting for 3 years later just so it could start coming back up, and wait for God knows how much longer just for you to break even and then make a profit. Now, I'm not saying not to trade stocks when they're selling off, but rather wait for a confirmation of an uptrend before you start buying in. Now, what I mean by waiting for an uptrend is by waiting for a stock to hit a certain support level and then waiting for it to slowly start coming back up, showing signs that it is recovering so that you could ride it back up. Now, in the trading community, there is a saying that the trend is your friend, and it doesn't really make sense to buy something that's just going straight down with no signs of reversing simply because you want to buy in at the lowest price, because a stock can keep falling. Now, if you have been following up with the market, then you have seen that the market has been selling off hard, with a day of coming up a little and then selling off even more. So with the current conditions of the market at the time of this video, you could clearly see that buying when things are selling off isn't necessarily a great strategy because things can keep selling off. I mean, at the time of this video, the market went down 10% one week, then went down another 10% the next week. Now, I don't know about you, but 20% of your capital gone in 2 weeks is a lot of money, and to just sit around for years waiting for it to come back up just simply doesn't seem like a profitable idea. Now, like I said, when it comes to real estate or banking. Graham is an expert. When it comes to stocks, however, I believe Graham doesn't really have much experience. And I mean, even in a few videos, he mentions how every time he's trading the stock market, he ended up losing money, or that he's not really comfortable or familiar or good at trading.
I really have no idea what I'm doing in terms of like trading.
So for me, when I think about taking someone's advice, I preferably want to take advice from someone who has proof or validation in the field. And although Graham is one of my favorite YouTubers, I really get worried with him having such a large audience on YouTube. His input on the stock market can really have a negative effect towards people's financial, life, especially if he hasn't been the most successful trading stocks. People following him might, do wrong as well. Now, I genuinely do admire and respect Graham. So hopefully whoever watches this can understand my input on this topic. Now, if Graham watches this video, then hopefully he's an understandable person and maybe even gently taps that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Now, with that being said, if anyone has any questions or concerns, definitely leave it in the comment section below. I do my best to reply to everyone. Also, I do want to point out that I have a free Facebook group in the link in the description below for anyone who's interested in trading in the stock market. Right now, I'm just trying to gather a bunch of motivated individuals who share a hunger for success in the market. That way we could all communicate and collaborate, bounce ideas with each other. So yeah, if you're interested, then yeah, definitely check that link in the description. Again, this is Justin from Push and Profit, and I'm out. Peace.